Good afternoon and welcome to Wembley. It's one of sport's great days. It's cup final day. And round about 5:15 this afternoon, either Paul Bracewell of Sunderland or Liverpool's Mark Wright will climb these famous steps to collect the trophy from the Duchess of Kent. That's, of course, if it's settled by then. Now, Sunderland have a 100% record in FA Cup finals here. First in 1937, captained by Rach Carter. Then in 1973, the famous victory over Leeds.
Playfield, 1-0.
Liverpool have won the cup here 4 times. In 1965.
It's a goal!
Then in 1974.
Highway, Liverpool showing the party pieces. He wasn't offside. Smith. Yes! King in second. And Newcastle were undressed.
The win in 1986 gave Liverpool the cup and league double.
Rushes on the far side. Is this 3? It is!
And after the shock defeat by Wimbledon in '88, Liverpool returned the following year to beat Everton again.
Rush! Goal! 3-2 Liverpool!
One of our guests today is Alan Hansen, who captained Liverpool to that double in 1986. Also with us, Bob Stokoe. He won the cup as a player with Newcastle in 1955. And, of course, as Sunderland manager in the famous win of 19 years ago. Now, remember those lovely sunny cup final days of recent years? Not today, I'm afraid. It's been raining here all morning. It's continued to rain, raining right now. We hope that perhaps by kick-off time at 3 o'clock it will have stopped. But I can tell you there's quite a few bedraggled figures outside the ground. Lots of fans down from the northeast have arrived early, and it's been raining on them, I'm afraid. But some of the Sunderland fans have drawn sustenance from the fact that the rain's been coming down, because they've been reminding me here this morning that back in 1973, when they had that great victory over Leeds, well, it rained that day too. You remember seeing those shots of Bob Stokoe wearing his mac and his hat at the end of the game there.
Thursday, 08:45, and an affectionate Wembley send-off for Steve Nicol. Michael Thomas, the chauffeur.
You're next.
Oh, we go.
Hey. Right. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
At Anfield, Roy Evans was making sure Liverpool would be kitted out correctly. In the famous boot room, Phil Thompson was in charge of footwear.
Oh, we have to take match boots, spare match boots, and these are the rubbers, these are the trainer rubbers just going in.
The bookmakers say Liverpool are well equipped to win the cup for the 5th time. And with their fans still queuing for tickets...
OK, let's go, Graham.
Liverpool set out for Wembley.
Would you like to know his nickname? Trigger. Explain why your nickname's Trigger. I don't know myself. Because it's a plank.
Rob Jones is the butt of most jokes, but Ronnie Rosenthal can outwit Dean Saunders.
If you have a good game in the cup final, you never know, you might get on the England squad this week.
Ah, I see. So I'll have to get English passport then. I haven't got any.
Why?
Why? I'm Israeli.
Bruce Grobbelaar was unhappy about roommate Steve Nicol's diet.
The only thing I don't like about Chico is his eating habits. There's about 6-pack at Christmas that night, and you can't get to sleep because of this crunching. You know.
At their St Albans base, Liverpool started to prepare for the game they have to win to save their season. Friday, 10:30, and the squad stretched their legs in their final training session. Injury had already ruled out Ronnie Whelan. He was missing Wembley. But the real question of sport was whether John Barnes' thigh injury would cost him his place in the cup final side. Ronnie Moran reassured Chairman David Moores that what by Liverpool standards had been a poor season would end on a high. But it won't for Barnes. Yet again, Liverpool will have to do without him.
I think that after looking at it philosophically, there are worse things happening in the world than me not playing in a cup final. and I've been fortunate enough to play in 3, and although only won 1, but still there are many players who haven't even played in 1. So there's a lot of initial disappointment in not playing in it, but then if you look at it from a different perspective, I'm a very fortunate person anyway.
Barnes out, 20-year-old Steve McManaman in, only weeks after knee surgery.
He won't be affected by Wembley, because we were only talking before. I remember his first day at the club and when he came as a kid, and I saw him down the passageway and I thought, who's that walking down there with his swagger? But the lad hasn't changed. That was just his gait, and he still does it, and nothing affects him.
And having settled on team selection, Ronnie Moran had to consider wardrobe for leading Liverpool out.
I'll be wearing the gear what we got issued this week, and I'll do a Cluffy, I think. When I get to the bench, I'll run round the back and get changed and get my tracksuit on there.
And Cluffy has certainly made an impression on Dean Saunders.
Son, do you like flowers, son? Because I love flowers, son. I've got a garden, son, and I love flowers, son. Thank you, son.
John Barnes' corporate image didn't escape the Saunders treatment.
The 90 minutes of sheer hell, playing for England. You need something to get your thoughts past. Isotonic means it's in balance with your body fluids. It gets your thirst past.
And after the pre-dinner cabaret, a day of surprises given Graham Souness' arrival and Barnes' failed fitness test came to an end. Friday, 10 p.m, the Liverpool manager and his players retired early. Graham Souness had spent most of the day in his room, knowing today he'd be the focus of attention.
Don't look at the camera. Don't look at the camera.
But everyone involved with the club, players and fans alike, are only too aware that millions will be looking to see if they can save their season. Liverpool are aiming to tie up the FA Cup, just like that.
I went up the attic the other day with the wife. Dark, dusty, full of cobwebs, but she's great with the kids.
So it's a familiar journey, this, for the Liverpool squad. In recent years, they've won the Cup twice, and of course, in between, there was that amazing defeat by Wimbledon. And today, they'll go into the dressing room on the right there, which they had on that day. And very shortly, we'll be hearing from the man whose team beat them on that day, Bobby Gould. But let's just see the players arrive. Roy Evans there, Phil Thompson, former player, and Ronnie Moran, who'll lead them out today, although this man, of course, is here. Graham Souness. He says that the doctors gave him the OK, although they would have preferred him not to come to the match, but he wanted to be here. He is here, just a month after his triple heart bypass operation. And he only found out he was going to have that just a day or two before that semi-final. Mark Wright, Michael Thomas, Rush and Nicol, Jan Mølby, and all the familiar faces and names. Mark Walters, who's one of the substitutes, and John Barnes, who won't play today, unhappily for them. Barry Venison there. McManaman, who comes into the team because of Barnes unavailable. And Ronnie Whelan doesn't play either. So Liverpool have arrived safely. And some of the fans, they're Liverpool fans, one of them in the change strip. Perhaps he didn't get round to finding out that they would be playing in their red today. And Sunderland will play in white shirts and navy blue shorts, change strip for them. But of course, if it were to go to a replay, that would switch round. They play in their stripes on Thursday. And interesting to note that the last 3 cup finals have gone to extra time, and 8 of the last 11 have gone to extra time. So perhaps this will be another one.
No, it's been raining quite a lot, and it's really, from our point of view, I think it's quite good because you can zip the ball be zipping round, and no, we're looking forward to it.
Can you sum up your season?
Well, I'm not at the best of seasons. I've been very, unfortunate that I've had a lot of injuries. But I feel now, I feel sharp and I feel fit now. I've had a few games to get me into it, and I'm looking forward to the game today. I think it's a great setting for myself because I haven't played a lot this season, but I feel I'll be most probably fitter than anyone.
Sum up Liverpool's season. You need to win this one more than ever, don't you?
Yeah, we need to win to qualify for Europe. We've been out of Europe for a long time. It'll be a shame if we, when we can go back in, we're not there. So it's a big game, but it's also a big game for Sunderland. We just take it, as we can. But we believe if we can play to the best of our ability, we can beat anyone.
All the best, thanks.
I think that'll be in our favour. We like the pitch a little bit zippy, so we can get our passing game right from the start.
I was just going to say, it's quieter than usual.
Yes, I don't think there's many supporters in at the moment as normal. I think the weather might have something to do with that. Probably try to find shelter somewhere else. But I'm sure by 3 o'clock they'll all be in and all in good voice.
Does it get through to Liverpool that you are expected to win this one?
I think everyone is expecting us to win, but we know from our experience against Wimbledon that you can't take any team lightly. You've got to go out there and produce the goods.
Attitude all important at Wembley.
Yeah, of course, but it is an occasion to enjoy yourself, and to go out and express your footballing ability.
It's not enough for Liverpool to come here today. They need to win, don't they?
Of course, it means qualification for the European Cup Winners' Cup next year, and that's most important to Liverpool.
Ray, you've had a great season. Thanks for talking to us.
Thanks very much.
Well, being at Wembley is a very big game, but this one is more important to the club than anything. To enable us to get into Europe, we have to win this game, but in saying that, we've got to take nothing for granted. Sunderland have got through to here, and they are going to be in our way, so we just got to go overcome that and hopefully come away with the cup to make us go back into Europe.
Do you think you've won the battle of the ties with Sunderland so far?
No, they've got ties that are, everybody's got the same tie. We, unfortunately, have got ties that differ. Players have got different ties to the trainers. We've got different ties to the old folk, and Ronnie Moran and Tom Saunders, and the manager's got the best tie of all.
And you've spoken to Graeme Souness this morning. How is he?
Just to say good morning, and he's in fine fettle. On the bus, he was chatting a lot, yes.
And the Liverpool team?
Well, as I said before, on many occasions, we've got a blend of players that can come here. They are very excited, and I've never been as nervous as today because I know the importance of the game, which means that it'll bring me down to earth a bit. We've got the importance of the players that have been here before, but yet we've got the young, eager ones that have never won anything here. And there's one player that has never played here before, and Dean Saunders, and hopefully we can calm him down and he can play to the best of his ability, which we all know he can.
Bruce, all the best.
Thank you very much.
I think it's probably the biggest day for any professional footballer, being out and playing at Wembley on such a good day.
What's the important factor for Liverpool if you're going to win this cup?
Well, first of all, I want to keep a clean sheet. Try and put on a good performance, obviously for the television as well. At the end of the day, we want to come back with the FA Cup.
Who's the most important player that has to play today?
Well, obviously, Mølby. I mean, if Jan plays well, I think the team plays well. We were trying to keep a clean sheet, me and Mark. And the two centre forwards put 1 or 2 goals, and I'm sure we'll win the game.
You're a bit nervous, aren't you?
I am a bit nervous, yeah. It's my first time, and I'm just going to savour every moment of it.
Have they been giving you some stick this morning? They usually do.
Well, nothing changes, I woke up this morning, my tie was placed by my peg, and it's a wrong tie. Everybody's got the different tie to me, so I'm the odd one out. Never mind.
Thanks for talking to us. All the best.
Thanks, Ray. Thank you. Thanks, David. Thank you.
It's a cruel world, isn't it? But David Burrows is obviously going to do his best for you at home, as well as for the team here and all the Liverpool fans here.
Just about the best goalkeeper in the league, but he does tend to give you nightmares now and again, because he does come for balls where he shouldn't be coming. But I think at the end of the season, you wouldn't swap him for anyone. And on top of that, he's very valuable off the pitch, where we call him the hound dog. He's a bit of a joker. There's always something going on. He can never sit down and be quiet. So for the team spirit, he's good. He's very good.
Rob Jones, 20, defender.
The way he's played in the first win has been exceptional. He's been the find of the season. He's broken into the England squad. He's done extremely well. If you have to fault him, the only thing you can fault him about is off the pitch, where his nickname is Trigger, the character from Only Fools and Horses, and I think the viewers can guess why he's called that, because he's not always switched on.
It's David Burrows. I'm 23, defence.
Again, a very capable player in the England squad, which is very well deserved. He is a good player. But there's always another side to Dave Burrows, and that's off the pitch where he is. I know it's not very nice to say he's daft, but he's not always switched on. And his nickname is Bart Simpson, because he looks very much like him.
Mark Wright, 28, defender.
What he's added to the Liverpool team is what we probably hasn't had for many years, is somebody's really strong and dominating in the air. He's always a good leader of the back line. He's a little bit of a worrier. When you say things to him, he wants you to go into details about why you've said it and why people is having a go at him. Whereas normally at Liverpool, you know, if somebody has a go at you, you just carry on because that's normal. That's always been the Liverpool way.
Stephen Nicol, 29 and 12 months, defence.
On the pitch, Mr. Reliable. He's again had a tremendous season. Although he's moved into the middle of the defence as a centre back now, he still does a great job. And again, coming to off the pitch, he's not always the most intelligent person, but he's got a big heart and he keeps the lads amused. And again, like Bruce Grobbelaar, they're good value.
Ray Houghton, 30, midfield.
This season, Ray's has been absolutely tremendous. He's played in near enough every game, and he's in many games been our most important player. He's scored so many important goals for us. I think he's into double figures, which is well deserved because he works hard. I think he makes sure he gets up early in the morning so he can read the papers. So when he does come in, nobody can take him by surprise. If anyone says anything, he knows, well, I've already seen that. And I'm sure he spends a lot of time in front of the TV checking the C-facts because he doesn't want to be taken by surprise.
Michael Thomas, 24, midfield player.
He's had a good season. He's scored some important goals. He works very hard in midfield. A lot of people at Anfield can't understand why he wasn't in the Arsenal team. But we're only too pleased because he's at our place now. Off the pitch, he's a little bit quiet. But his nickname is Leicester, which is to do with Lester Pickett, because Lester Pickett is not very easy to understand, and neither is Michael Thomas. He can sit in the bath and talk for 4 to 5 minutes, and the last year look at himself and start laughing, saying, "What's he on about?"
Jan Mølby, 28, midfield.
I probably haven't played as many games as I would have liked over the years. I've taken a lot of stick for the way I look. Certainly take more sticks for how fast I run. But I believe that all that matters is not how fast you run, but it's how fast you think. And I believe that there's nothing wrong with what I've got upstairs. And I think if you can survive at a club like Liverpool for 8 years, you must have something.
Dean Saunders, 27, striker.
Scored some very important goals for us this season, especially in Europe where he had a tremendous run. The way Dean has done it this season with his 9 goals has been absolutely fantastic. He's the man behind most wind-ups, and he's sort of looked after Rob Jones since he's come here from Crewe, and it hasn't been easy for Rob because Dean sort of lures him into a sense of security where he thinks I can tell him anything, and as soon as they get in the dressing room, Dina's in the middle of the dressing room on the treatment table telling everyone what Robbie's been up to, what Robbie's been saying.
Stephen McManaman, 20, forward.
Had a tremendous season. Got so much ability. Sometimes people say that when he does go past people, he doesn't really produce the right pass or the right cross or score enough goals. But I believe for a young lad, what he's shown this season has been exceptional.
Ian Rush, 30, striker.
I've got the privilege of sharing hotel rooms with him when we go away, and he is basically what we call the incredible moaning man. He's always got something to complain about. He does enjoy a little bit of a moan in the room if somebody knocks on the door and I don't get up to answer it. He starts moaning, going, "Oh well, I guess it's left to me again. Is it me again? It's always me." And he's like that all the time. But when you get to know him, you do it to wind him up. You make sure that you don't do anything and let him do everything because you know you're going to get a little bit of a moan out of him. And I believe that the more he moans, the better he's going to play. So the less I do in the room.
Some of the inner secrets there of Liverpool, thanks to Jan Mølby, who plays today, as you see. That's the lineup. And let's see the formation as we think it'll be. Alan Hansen, this is more or less right, isn't it? This is how they'll play.
When Burrows was having the interview there with Ray Stubbs, he mentioned Mark and himself. It would intimate to me that he'd be playing centre-back. We'll have to wait and see.
With Nicol full-back?
Yeah, they've played that before. But it's a sad loss for them that Barnes isn't playing. I think it must have been touch and go for him. They probably would have left it up to Barnes himself. And if he had been close to playing, I believe he would have played because obviously the FA Cup final. You don't want to miss this one.
I think he said he'd be fit for a replay if there were a replay.
Yeah, I think it must have been touch and go for him.
Yeah.
But Liverpool started to come good. They played well against both Leeds United and Manchester United. And what must have pleased them was that they were making a lot of chances in both games, something that they've been failing to do all season. Again, they've got a lot of experience in the side. They've got 5 or 6 players that have been here before. And I felt the second time that I came here, even though we got beaten, I felt more comfortable with the whole thing. Sunderland's inexperience might go against them today.
And there is the new FA Cup trophy in use for the first time today. I wonder how many great deeds will be done in pursuit of that piece of silverware in the next 80 years. Well, back in the open air, and the rain mercifully has eased. 18,000 supporters from Sunderland, that was their ticket allocation, and 26,000 from Liverpool prepare now for this 64th Wembley FA Cup final. All seater now, Wembley. Prices ranging from £15 down there near the fences to £90 these days, high up in the Olympic Gallery. And if you want another idea of how football inflation has gone, when Sunderland, I'm not sure he was here, but when Sunderland were last here in 1973, the official programme cost just 15p. And today, it's £5. Some of the handicapped supporters in wheelchairs there. I gather that Liverpool have ensured that certain tickets go to them. What price would you have got against these two men leading out the cup final teams when the competition started? Ronnie Moran, 43 years at Anfield, standing in today for Graham Souness. And Malcolm Crosby, only appointed manager permanently a week ago, and he took over at the turn of the year as caretaker. It's a fabulous reception again. No Ronnie Whelan and no John Barnes. At number 10, 20-year-old Steve McManaman, the youngest man in the match, returns after his injury in the semi-final 5 weeks ago. And it's interesting to hear earlier the fact that Dean Saunders, I think one of the Liverpool players was telling Ray Stubbs on the pitch, Dean Saunders plays at Wembley for the first time. Their top scorer, of course, and the two substitutes, Mark Walters and Mike Marsh. As for Sunderland, as you've heard already, no doubt, Gary Owers wears the number 2 shirt in place of the injured John Kay. A place at number 6 for David Rush, who won't be 21 until next week. The unlucky man in the squad, really, Paul Hardyman, having played in every cup tie. He's now a substitute. And Rush, Hardyman, Rogan, Ball and Hawke, I think, are all new to Wembley. So there's perhaps a little less experience on the big occasion, as they would be from a second division side for Sunderland. So Sunderland in white shirts will start this 111th FA Cup final. I mentioned their lack of Wembley experience. 6 of their team did take part in the playoffs here 2 years ago against Swindon. And as we've said so often at moments like this, it all depends on what happens on the day, and we're off. And just bearing out the point that Alan Hansen made, it looks to me as though David Burrows, actually the kickoffs had to be retaken, somebody was in the wrong half, but it gives me a chance to say that David Burrows looks as though he's playing alongside Mark Wright at the kickoff anyway, and Steve Nicol possibly at left back. We'll pick that one up for you. Number 6 there is David Rush for Sunderland on the right-hand side. Here's Nicol now. This is Thomas. Here's Burrows. Has played a few games in the central defence in this second half of the season, so he's found Wright. And this is Rob Jones. Thomas. First touch here for Brian Atkinson, number 11 in the midfield for Sunderland. Now it's Rush. Number 8 is Davenport, but Rush was fouled. 5, Anton Rogan. And again. Burrows had out, that's John Byrne, and it was deflected off his own player. It's a goal kick.
Yes, David Burrows. I think perhaps sometimes centre-back, when he's asked to do a marking job, might be his best position, because his distribution at times there, he just gets a half header that Byrne sort of doesn't quite catch, and it hits Davenport, goes off with a goal kick.
Ian Rush, 2 Rushes on the pitch, of course. Ian of Liverpool and David of Sunderland. And here is that very man. Mølby, Nicol. Swung wide by Mølby, beautifully to Ray Houghton, number 8. Michael Thomas, a forward, run in space. Michael Thomas shoots, holds his head for skying it, but Tony Norman was very quick to his feet.
Typical Liverpool move, was it? Ray Houghton comes inside on his right foot so well, just flicks it with the outside of his foot. Thomas making that deep run and tries to lift it over Norman because he's so close to him, spread himself well and lifted it over the crossbar.
Michael Thomas, who played here for Arsenal against Spurs in the FA Cup semi-final last season and was disappointed, but he did get the winner against Aston Villa this year in the 6th round. Good tackle by Rogan, he started well. This is Byrne, Davenport in the centre, Rogan outside him, still Johnny Byrne.
Well, he got it on target, but there's Anton Rogan giving a shout across because he was a spare man. A little reverse ball would have left him clear, and I think it was a wasted opportunity.
Here's McManaman. Nicol up on the left for Liverpool. Takes on David Rush. Thomas. Nicol. Deep one. Oh, it took Armstrong to clear it. Corner to Liverpool. Saunders will take it. Mark Wright is trotting up. McManaman and Rush in the 6-yard box. Here comes Wright. It's come out to Thomas. In support here, Nicol. And now Mølby. Nicol again. And Wright still in there. And so was Rush.
Tony Norman's had a couple of good early saves. He held on to that one well, but it's a very bright, open start to the game. We've had chances both ends. This one, Mark Wright staying in there, heads it back down, and look at Ian Rush make up the ground. Good half volley, but fortunately for Sunderland, straight back Rogan.
This is Rogan now. Davenport holds it up well usually. Rogan. Oh, a skidder. Through Grobbelaar from Anton Rogan. And Grobbelaar may have collided with the post.
Yeah, he's just hit the back of his head there. Got a lovely left foot, Rogan. This one just bounces nastily, and you can see the thud there. That's a nasty whack.
Brought to Byrne. It's Kevin Ball at the back there. Byrne! Oh, he was onside, and what a good chance for the man who scored in every round. Liverpool were sleeping a bit, weren't they?
Well, it was a half clearance that everyone challenges, and a great header comes back across, and normally John Byrne would compose himself, even control it, and then pick his spot. He just snatched it in. That's what Wembley does for you.
Owers to take the throw. Armstrong trotting towards him now. There's Armstrong. There's Davenport away by Wright. And then half away by Mølby. Oh, it's gone wide off Mark Wright. The shot was by Bracewell, and the deflection could have gone anywhere to Grobbelaar's relief. It flew off Wright's foot. I think it was Wright. And and went past the post. Yes, look at that. Grobbelaar was going the other way. There's Armstrong's header, and then Bracewell got it down nicely, and a good pass. Byrne. And still. Saying in his interview with Tony Gubba that if he got into a position where he could have a shot and there was somebody better to pass to, he would pass, but on the 2 occasions so far he's had a shot.
I didn't think he had much choice there. He bundled his way through more than anything, but Rob Jones blocked the shot across the goal, and he dragged it to the near post and the side netting.
Up goes Armstrong. Bennett's in there with Wright. Jones the back header. Houghton needs to get this away for Liverpool, and he will. To Mølby, it's come off his heels. Bracewell. It's all a bit untidy at the moment, isn't it? But that through ball by Jones finds Saunders. Owers having to come across from right back to cover. Saunders shoots first time, and it was a good effort.
Great ball from Rob Jones, but that's Saunders at his best, playing up there by himself almost, and being able to make those darting runs. That's one of the few occasions when he has been pushed right up, because often he's been working behind Rush.
Now here's Rush himself. Houghton. Nicol. McManaman. Thomas. Oh, well played by Jones. McManaman!
Terrific play by that young man again, Rob Jones. I'm looking forward to seeing how he copes with the European Championship, because he does look excited, doesn't he? Going forward, whipped in. I wonder whether Tony Norman felt it could have come for that, because it's a header on the 6-yard box and McManaman couldn't quite keep it down.
Just a couple of minutes left in the half, 0-0 here at Wembley. Not able to take teams apart quite like the Liverpool of old. Is that fair, Mr. Brooking?
Well, definitely. I mean, they've had little spells, haven't they, this season, but not with the consistency that they used to for several seasons. And I think Sunderland will be more and more confident as the half has gone on, because they have matched them. I thought the first 10 minutes Liverpool started well and looked very confident, but gradually Sunderland came into the game. They've had the best chance through John Byrne, undoubtedly, and they must feel that they're very much in with the chance of getting into Europe, of course, themselves.
Yes, the European Cup Winners' Cup, a prize for the winners today. And here's an opportunity for Liverpool to lay some claim just before half-time. A free kick, quickly taken. McManaman the outlet. And he's skipped down on the right-hand side. He's got inside. And it's still McManaman. Oh, brought down by Bracewell, was he? No. Liverpool can't believe it. They're going to Philip Don. And they must have felt on the bench that was a possible penalty offence.
This shimmy, look, he just goes outside. Shapes to centre, comes inside. Then he just gets clipped on his heel. There's no, you couldn't see it from that angle. He caught his standing foot. It was definitely a penalty. As he slid in, Bracewell just blocked it. He got his standing foot and clipped him down. Definitely a penalty.
Well, my co-commentator in no doubt about that, but the referee didn't give it. And here's Saunders in stoppage time at the end of the first half.
I think the problem is the linesman is this side as well, so he would have been blocked off from the view, a bit like we saw on the television there. The referee's over the other side of the penalty area, and they couldn't have seen just the clip on the back foot, but he was definitely a foul, and it was a lucky let-off for Sunderland.
Meantime, Liverpool with McManaman back on the left, and the referee brings the first half to a close. I'm just going to watch referee Don walk off here in case any of the Liverpool party decide to remonstrate with him. But it was certainly one of the points of the first half which will cause discussion. Ray Houghton, I think, probably had a word as they went across. Well, he did have a word, there's no doubt about that. There's no score in this cup final. Sunderland certainly held their own, perhaps more than held their own. They had chances, didn't take them. Final ball wasn't right. Byrne missed a couple. But then Liverpool came towards the end and we had that shout for a penalty. We shall see, obviously, what Desmond's team of all talents think about that in the studio. But from the commentary box, the news is, at half-time in the cup final, it's Liverpool 0, Sunderland 0, and Mr. Souness in deep conversation.
Jimmy, what was your view on that McManaman incident right
Well,
at the end?
I think referees often say that slow-motion replays are unfair, or the public do to referees. I think that slow-motion replay was so fair to that referee it wasn't true. When we all looked at it, we all said penalty, without any doubt. But if you see, it takes some time, we can admire McManaman's skill in the meantime. This is why everybody did like seeing him play. This is him at his best.
That looked penalty.
But that looked penalty from that angle. But the second time we saw it, I think you'll see that Bracewell actually did not trip his opponent. He went to push the ball back. And remember, intention has to... You see, it looks there as if he's tripped him, but the angle we had before that, we haven't seen the angle.
No, there was another angle that we saw.
There was another angle which shows clearly that the line of his thrust was towards the ball.
Yeah.
And I think that vindicates it. Mind you, we've got to see it, otherwise that referee would be hung forever.
We will in a moment.
He caught his leg. It doesn't matter if the intention was there or the intention wasn't there. If he goes to make the tackle, misses the ball and catches McManaman, it's a penalty kick. There hasn't been a defender yet that doesn't go for the ball. Everybody goes for the ball. If you mistime a tackle and catch McManaman's leg, it's definitely a penalty kick.
We're talking about the angle. If he had gone for the ball and the man on the same line, I would agree with you. But you can see from the one thing that we haven't been able to see since, that his actual line of his slide is towards the ball only, not towards the player.
The only question in my mind there would be if he made contact or not. If he makes contact, it's
you
a
think
penalty.
you think don't penalty. What's Bob Stoker think?
That was a good decision, Chip. I think he went for the ball, and I think he might have just made contact with it. I don't think there was any feeling in the situation at all that it was a penalty.
But everybody goes for the ball, Bob. Defenders always go for the ball.
I mean, he's got to see whether it's deliberate, or I know players get brought down in certain situations, and I think he's made a fair play for the penalty, and I think if we've got a closer look, he might have just got a foot
another look here.
Yeah.
I don't think it shows it well from this angle. I think it's the other angle that he might have just got a foot on it.
He goes past him again. If he connects with McManaman there, it's definitely a penalty. I can't understand how you can say that he goes for the ball and makes a difference. Everybody goes for the ball. Defenders always go for the ball.
The referee had his instant decision to make and perhaps didn't have the best angle.
Well, he certainly didn't have the best angle, but he made a decision which I would still support. We still haven't seen that line of tackle that I saw originally, where his foot slid through. Bob says he might, excuse me, he might just have caught the ball. I think there is a possibility that he just got a nick on the ball, but his intention was to play the ball. And if
we'll dig that replay out.
I mean, the laws of the game are very clear on that. You know, it has to be an intentional trip.
Okay.
And the only thought in his mind, I'm going to get that ball and go for it.
You have to scrap that rule in.
Slightly different interpretation of what the laws of football are here. Now, Jim, this might be the angle you were looking for.
So much hangs on this because, you know, that could have been obstruction, but McManaman was able to get round that. Now you look from here, is he going for the ball? There he puts his foot through, look, in the direction of the ball. He doesn't get the ball, and at that point, McManaman comes across that line. That's what I'm saying. He actually thought that wasn't a dive to pull the player down. He stretched forward, Bracewell.
The more I look at that, the more I'm saying it's a definite penalty. I mean, it doesn't matter to me about intention if he goes to play the ball or not.
The referees will tell you that it does.
We can discuss it till we're blue in the face, and the fact is that the score is 0-0.
My only case rests on the line of Bracewell's challenge. He thinks he's going to get the ball here. There it is. That's for the ball.
He's missed the ball.
I think he might have got the ball.
He never touched the ball.
He might have got a touch for it.
Okay. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for the moment. I hope you're all having as good a time at home as we clearly are here.
I was kidding, actually. It was a penalty, sorry. Yeah.
No, he wasn't. No.
I made the case for the referee.
Do you foresee any significant change of tactics on either side in the second half, Trevor?
Well, the only one, of course, with Liverpool, I would like to see from their point of view is perhaps McManaman on the right. But from Sunderland point of view, I think really they've got better and more confident if now their confidence grows and they start getting more men forward and and as we've said, make better use of the final ball themselves. You know, chances. I'm sure I should be surprised if we stay goalless myself.
Just may as well throw in our 2 penneth about this penalty award, Trevor. The only thing I would have said, in fairness to referee Don, is if it wasn't an intentional foul, then the referee is entitled not to give it, but you would probably take the Alan Hansen view on that.
Yeah, I think any player looking at that and seeing the ball a yard or so ahead of the player when his standing foot's being clipped has got to say, well, it'd be a penalty. If it was given against my side, I would have accepted it, and I think most Sunderland players, if they're asked afterwards, would have said that at the time their instinct said, oh, we're lucky to get away with it.
Well, we do get lots of letters from referees throughout the season, and I often mention this word intent in the law, so we'll leave it there for now. I think it's had a good bashing. Let's get on with the second half. It's Armstrong for Sunderland. Johnny Byrne just inside now. Mark Wright stretches. This is Byrne. And he's forced a corner in the opening seconds. And Brian Atkinson will go across to take it. And they were practicing these in training yesterday morning from that side with Anton Rogan, number 5, and Kevin Ball, number 3, joining the players in the penalty area. In fact, it's going to be probably Armstrong on the actual post. Ball up with Grobbelaar. Bracewell now. And that's David Rush. And here comes Grobbelaar to meet Davenport. And he rolls it out almost casually, but it's not casual because it puts Liverpool with Houghton into a more offensive position. Now it's Mølby. Knocked out wide to McManaman, who is indeed starting on the right-hand side this time. Takes on Atkinson. Gets past him. And flips it into Michael Thomas. Thomas' shot! Oh, that's a fine goal! Souness looks on in admiration, and in the second minute of the second half, Liverpool have taken the lead in the cup final, and McManaman, who Trevor Brookings said would do more damage on the right than on the left, got the ball in, and Michael Thomas swung his right foot, and that goes down as one of the best cup final goals. Beautifully delivered, and what about this?
Great finish. We criticised Michael Thomas a bit, the fact he lifted the ball over Tony Norman and the goal early on, but that was still only a half chance. Good play by Steve McManaman. Again, his instinctive, being able to jig both ways on his natural foot, and it opened up the Sunderland defence, but a wonderful finish. And Michael Thomas coming late, unmarked again, but a super strike into the far corner, and now Sunderland will have to push more men forward from midfield.
That's really opened it up, hasn't it? What a start to the second half. Liverpool made that switch just before half-time. It was because McManaman came to the right we had all the furore about the possible penalty. And now Malcolm Crosby's defence caught out by him again. And you'll see from this side of the pitch how he first of all got past Brian Atkinson. Then his ability to come inside, the lovely little flip of the ball. There's Thomas, that's a volley, and you couldn't see it placed better, could you? It promises to be a good second half here. This is Thomas, the goal scorer. Mølby. Wright. Jones. Working it out right again to McManaman. Thomas. Mølby to his left if he needs him. Mølby still wants it here. Burrows, that's a measured ball. Dean Saunders. Ian Rush comes in, headed away by Anton Rogan, corner.
Another good run by Dean Saunders, and beautiful chip, got underneath it perfectly to the far post, and good defending to get it away, but they mustn't concede a second goal during these next few minutes.
Quickly taken corner on the far side. Rush away only as far as Mølby. Mølby's shot, oh, and tipped over by Tony Norman.
That was a magnificent save, a great shot. I mean, Mølby just popped it up in a dipping volley, and he did very well. You can see it was going to just go under the crossbar, but he got his fingertips to it.
Steve Nicol finding Mark Wright. And Armstrong threw himself into that a bit. McManaman. Mølby. Nicol. This is Owers. Oh, Burrows let it go, and Byrne could be in here. Foul. John Byrne fuming because he would have been away. David Burrows, who's had his moments with referees this season. He's had a lot of yellow cards, and referee Philip Don has decided this is going to be another one.
He went for the ball, having let it run. He did initially, I think, get perhaps contact just before John Byrne. John Byrne then tumbled over, but he's got himself booked perhaps a bit harshly, but he was going away anyway, Byrne out wide, so there was no question of a red card.
Houghton. This is Nicol. Saunders against the bar. So close to 2-0 for Dean Saunders, the top scorer.
He deserved a goal because he's played very well in the second half. He's helped sort of step up the Liverpool play going forward.
Nicol's cross this time. Tony Norman can come for this. And that might have been curtains for Sunderland if that had been a foot lower. Instead, it's Byrne with a chance to develop something for them. Davenport, there was nobody to his right. He had a quick look. I don't know where David Rush is. I think he's probably run out of steam. Here's Houghton. Saunders. Thomas through the middle again. Michael Thomas. Rush. 2-0 Liverpool. So simple. And vintage Ian Rush. 68 minutes gone, and Liverpool go 2 goals clear in the cup final. And there's nobody that loves the Wembley scene better than Ian Rush.
Saunders again involved. Unselfish play from Thomas, and there Ian Rush, either side to choose from, tucked it away. Saunders running at the defence. Michael Thomas, another of those surging runs, could have been selfish. Saw Rush there, and at 2-0 now. Although Sunderland are going to make their substitution, I can't see them getting back into this a typical Liverpool move. And that's the way to finish. You don't have to burst the net, pick your spot.
While Ian Rush celebrates, David Rush has gone off, and Paul Hardyman has come on wearing number 12 for Sunderland, who find themselves 2 goals down.
It's been continuous, Liverpool, hasn't it, since the restart. Paul Hardyman coming on, of course, now. Normally a left-back for most of the season, playing wide on the right. I thought perhaps he might slot into a full-back position, and Gary Owers push into midfield, because they're lacking that sort of support to the 2 strikers. Poor O'Brien Atkinson has been involved defensively. He's normally the one who would get forward and support them, and that's why they've never had the numbers up there to threaten Liverpool, particularly in the second half.
That's right. I have seen... Oh, it's Rush away, and Tony Norman comes out, and here's Ray Houghton trying to knock it back from 45 yards, and Norman's in trouble here, and he's... Oh. Well, he saw the funny side of it. Ray Houghton attempting something there, rather like Pele, or should we say Chris Waddle, who tried it in the last World Cup, didn't he? Amazing.
Well, it's great thinking, Tony Norman, and there's first touch, didn't even stop it. Certainly a wedge, isn't it, that height, and didn't get the backspin on the green he wanted, and he's bounced over the crossbar. But exciting bit of play, and it's good to see Tony Norman still able to smile after it.
Well, McManaman on the ball now, has Saunders just inside him here. Saunders shot, and Tony Norman rocking on his heels turns it over from Dean Saunders as Liverpool start to enjoy themselves. Saunders picked this one up, what, 20 yards out? And Norman was advanced and had to spread himself backwards. Now then, we're going to see a change again by Sunderland. Warren Hawke is coming on, and Gordon Armstrong, number 9, goes off. Hawke, number 14, the 21-year-old Durham lad, who can play either centre-forward or wide in the attack. Mølby. And Liverpool getting a bit casual. It's been almost too easy for them this last 20 minutes, Trevor.
Well, there's a tendency to sit back now, isn't there, which is what they've done on the 2-0 lead. And I think they'll be encouraged now for this second half performance, but the manager there, Malcolm Crosby, I'm sure be upset perhaps that they've ended up losing 2-0, but he's got a lot of credit for the cup run. They've done the North East proud, and let's see, perhaps...
Saunders with the shot.
Let's see, perhaps from this run this season, they can build on promotion, perhaps for next year. Graham Souness, though, doesn't need to get too excited in this second half. Yeah, some good performances, as you say, Liverpool, particularly second half, Saunders and Thomas. But my trio, I think, would be Mark Wright at the back, Mølby in midfield, and McManaman out wide.
Yes, here's Saunders. Tries the bender.
They did everything right, came inside. Bennett just beyond the far post, but has it been unlucky? What hit the woodwork? Good second half, though, a lot of movement.
And Liverpool have won the FA Cup in their centenary year and qualify again for Europe. Second Division Sunderland well beaten on the day, but Michael Thomas's goal after 47 minutes, followed by one from Ian Rush after 68 minutes, the difference between the two sides in a match where Liverpool totally dominated the second half. Handshakes all round. Liverpool know how vital this was for them. It was unthinkable for them not to be in Europe. Steve McManaman will get rave reviews. Only brought in the side yesterday afternoon because of the injury to John Barnes. Now the Liverpool team prepare to climb the steps to collect the FA Cup, and Ronnie Moran looks absolutely delighted, and well he might, having kept the club going while the manager's been in hospital. But Sunderland, the losers, will obviously take the first applause of the afternoon. And Paul Bracewell, you have to feel sorry for him, don't you? It's the fourth time he's gone up the Wembley steps to receive a loser's medal at the end of an FA Cup final, and 3 times he's been beaten by Liverpool. But there'll be other disappointed faces there. No reason for Sunderland to feel anything other than satisfied with the contribution they made, though, to the FA Cup as a whole this season. They've done the second division proud, and their job now is to make something of next season. But they'll be remembered, and their supporters will, for some valiant cup performances on the way to Wembley. Not quite good enough on the day is the verdict, as Bracewell leads them forward. Bob Murray there, the Sunderland chairman, leaning forward next to the Duke of Kent as the Sunderland players receive their losers' medals. John Byrne, who couldn't keep his record up, he had one good chance early on, the only round in which he didn't score. But young players here who will have benefited from the experience, and 1 or 2 older heads like Peter Davenport, who may perhaps not get a winner's medal after all in their careers, but who certainly experienced an FA Cup final which goes past so many other players. Tony Norman, no chance with the goals, really. So Liverpool prepare now to receive the trophy. Mark Wright following in the line of so many other famous Liverpool captains, many of them centre-backs indeed. Ron Yates comes to mind, Emlyn Hughes, Alan Hansen, of course, in our studio. Midfield player Ronnie Whelan last time. I don't think Mark Wright really kept his feet there, but he did all afternoon. And in his first season with Liverpool, he finishes up the England centre-half receiving the FA Cup. Liverpool win the FA Cup for the 5th time, and in their centenary year as well. And with a very new-look team compared to those that used to go up those steps. Dean Saunders in his first season. They're sending the cup all the way down the line. Michael Thomas, signed from Arsenal. Ian Rush, of course, is He's got a season ticket here, really. But David Burrows' first cup final, and the young substitute not used there, Mike Marsh. Mark Walters didn't get on either. Ray Houghton, and of course Jan Mølby, whose play in midfield was so calm and collected. David Moore's the new chairman there, thrilled to bits, as well he might be. And Liverpool march down the steps into Europe in the European Cup Winners' Cup, and of course they'll be back here for what should be a good Charity Shield match next August against the new First Division champions Leeds United. I don't think you would argue too much, Mr. Brooking, with the outcome today.
No, I thought Sunderland matched Liverpool, as Graham Souness said, very, very well in that first 45 minutes, and at half-time, who would have thought that Liverpool would come out and dominate so convincingly? Early goal made a lot of difference. McManaman playing down the right certainly helped create that Michael Thomas's late run, and after that, once they got ahead, Sunderland were always chasing the game, and there'll be some very tired legs once they get in that Sunderland dressing room, because they were made to chase the ball throughout the second half.
Yes, and just one consolation for Malcolm Crosby, the new manager of Sunderland, who did so well to get his team here. His eldest son, Ian, is a Liverpool supporter, so the Crosby household won't be too downhearted, perhaps. But obviously the Sunderland people will be initially, while Liverpool will go on to a scene of celebration that they know so well. The final score in the 1992 FA Cup final, the new trophy, handed over today for the first time, goes to Liverpool, who beat Sunderland by 2-0.
So Liverpool win their trophy after a lean season last year, and Bruce in tremendous form. And Bob Stokoe here, it wasn't to be for Sunderland this time. They couldn't repeat 73, your great year.
Yeah, they'll be very disappointed. Guys, after the first half, they gave themselves a little bit of a chance, but the early goal, and they've never been in the game the second half, and never troubled Bruce, and they finished off a very well beaten side. Very sad for them.
And the young boys look particularly disappointed. We saw David Rush there, and
yeah, well, when we see Gordon Armstrong and Derek Rush substituted, I mean, that's been the strength of the team during the cup run. Their willingness to get forward and support the defence, to the attack, and then get back and double cover like they did the first half, which they did extremely well. But the early second half goal killed them, really, not the edge, and they never recovered from it.
Alan Hansen, they're enjoying that, the Liverpool boys, and why not?
I wish I was there beside them.
You've been there before.
Been there before. It's a great moment for them. But they played well in the second half. They got the early goal, and that's what mattered. And after that, it was a bit one-sided. But Sunderland will do the chances that they missed in the first half. They can make a major contribution to the game. But Liverpool did play well in the second half. No doubt.
We ought to underline the fact that your forecast was exactly right. Alan, well done, 2-0. Bruce must have heard.
Alan was saying that Bruce,
Jimmy Hill.
if he doesn't get anything to do, he goes looking for something to do, which is one of his problems. Well, he's entertaining everybody now the match is over, because he didn't have very much to do in the second half.
They're going into the crowd there.
But it's a strange, the goal count tells the story of it all. 10 shots all on target in Liverpool, on goal in the first half, and 11-2 to Liverpool in the second half. And it was Liverpool's 11th shot that virtually told the whole story. I mean, Sunderland were never in the game after that.
We sometimes think about the Liverpool players as, you know, pure professionals, and they come here and do the job, but they're loving winning this, aren't they, Aaron?
Well, they've had a bad season up till now, and we're going to enjoy every moment of this. But it's always great to win the FA Cup, and you've got to feel sorry for losers. But at the same time, Sunderland have enjoyed the day, and they've got a lot of young kids playing there, and they'll learn from it. And let's hope they can get back at some stage in the future. But I must say I feel sorry for Bracewell. You know, 4 cup finals and 4 defeats. You can't imagine what he's feeling at this moment in time.
Some kind of unenviable record, isn't it? Now, let's hear from John Byrne. He had that early chance, couldn't keep up the record of a goal in each round, and he's with Bob Wilson.
John Byrne, not quite the fire story at the end after scoring in every round.
No, that's right. First half, I thought we played exceptionally well. We went at Liverpool. I had a great chance to score early on in the game, you know, and I fluffed it. But second half, Liverpool came out, and to be fair to them, they gave us a lesson in football.
Have you got an interesting medal there?
As it happens, they have. I've been given a winner's medal, which I'm going to get off at home now before somebody finds out and stick on the mantelpiece.
I think you should do that. And I've got Malcolm Crosby with me. Malcolm, the boys really did you proud in the first half, particularly.
Yes, I mean we had good chances in the first half. Unfortunately, once the second goal went in, we lost a little bit of shape. And Liverpool, you know, our football was great. We were a bit too deep, and it allowed Liverpool too much room. But you know, I'm proud of the players. I'm proud of the supporters. They've done the club proud right through the cup run, and you couldn't ask for any more.
So you've no real complaints about the final scoreline?
No, not in the second half performance. We kind of complain, but you know, the players have done magnificent to get here, and we haven't got to be too critical of them.
The aim now is to get Sunderland back up there, the top of the second division.
Well, that's right. That's the main job, and I'll be doing my best to try and get that achieve that.
Thanks very much. You've given us a lot of enjoyment. Thanks, John.
Thank you.
I just wonder if all the Sunderland players haven't got winners' medals. They went up first. They should indeed. Who stood out as your player of the match, Alan Hansen?
Oh, I thought I should have said Mark Wright played well, Mølby played well, Souness and Saunders played well in the second half. But for me, because he's been out for such a long time injury, or he's come back so quickly after injury, I'd have to be McManaman. When he switched the right-hand side, I thought he literally changed the game on his own.
And
there's a happy man as well.
Yeah.
That indeed is some compliment from Alan.
I think Bruce is pretty up
McManaman.
today, you know. He's having some time. So's this man, Ronnie Moran.
Ronnie, the first half, perhaps a few moments that would have given you...
Oh, well, yeah, the first half, Sunderland might have got 2 goals, but this is how cup finals go. We had a couple of half chances first half, but we had a natter at half time, and we switched McManaman onto the right, and it paid dividends for us in 2 or 3 minutes.
Do you think there might have been a penalty just before half time?
Well, that's up to the referee. I mean, Sunderland could say they might have got one before that, but the referee's got to make the decision, so we've got to abide them. You're upset, but what can you do?
You say there were a few words at half-time. One of those obviously involved the switch with Steve McManaman, and I mean, it acted straight away.
Oh, we know Steve can operate better on the right flank, but from the start we had to go to our proper formation. And then, as I said, at half-time, we decided to switch him, well, before half-time, to switch him after half-time onto the right.
You must have been very happy with the second half performance.
Well, I mean, we were well on top in the second half. I was only hoping we get more goals, but to relax on the line.
Did you enjoy your day leading the team out?
Oh, magnificent. I mean, that's me memory forever now.
And Europe next year, that means a lot.
Well, that's the biggest thing, apart from the players winning today. We're in Europe, and we're back here in August for the Charity Shield.
You were sitting alongside Graham Souness. Did he manage to stay reasonably calm?
He didn't do bad. Well, he wasn't calm all the time, but he wasn't jumping up. But he enjoyed it.
Well done, Ronnie. Thanks very much.
Thanks.
I've got a feeling it won't be very long before Graham Souness is jumping up again. And I suspect, Alan Hansen, that, I mean, there's no question of him not being Liverpool's manager for the foreseeable future, but there have been some doubts expressed in the papers.
Yeah, I definitely think he'll be back. He really is determined to come back. And Europe for Liverpool next season, and I think he'll be there. But the main priority for him will definitely be the First Division Championship next season. But again, going back to Ronnie Moran, I don't think anybody should underestimate the part he's played in 25 years of Liverpool's success. And I think it was fitting that he led the team out today.
Now here's the man who showed us all the players before the match, and he played a prominent role in the match today, of course, Jan Mølby.
Jan Mølby and, in fact, Steve McManaman. First, Jan, very happy with the second half performance.
Yeah, definitely. I think in the first half we just tried to make sure that they didn't get on top of us, and we just made sure we didn't give any chances away. And the first half was pretty much even. They had a couple of chances, we had a couple of hard chances. But in the second half, I think our experience showed through a little bit, and we got on top of them, and we totally dominated the second half.
Did Sunderland pose any real problems early on that, I mean, really worried you?
Well, there was a couple of incidents, but I think that was more down to ourselves. We were a little bit judgy defending, and they had some half chances, but they didn't manage to put them away. And when we got them in the second half, they ended up in the back of the net.
Thanks very much. Steve McManaman, wonderful experience for you, Steve. Here's the new cup as well with you. But you must have enjoyed the second half particularly, the way you set up that goal within a couple of minutes of the second half.
Yeah, well, we changed it round, and
in the second half, and right from the off, I started to get a lot of the ball. And I didn't see much of Michael's goal. I've played it through to him, and he's just hit it first time. I think I was on the floor.
But it seemed the second half you relaxed as an individual. You looked as if you really enjoyed it.
Oh, well, I was very relaxed before the game. But I totally enjoyed the game. To go right through it again.
Wonderful experience for you. Dean Saunders here. Dean, end of an interesting season for you.
Yeah, I'm delighted. I can't believe it. You know, we've had so much bad luck all season, and it makes up for everything.
Did you enjoy it yourself?
Oh yeah, second half especially, when you know, with two great finishes, and you know, I think we passed it about best we've passed it all season. And you know, to be fair to Sunderland, like second half we played really well, and there's not a lot they could do about it.
They did well first half though, didn't they?
Well, I thought, yeah, they could have quite easily been in front first half, but never took their chances, and we took ours.
Thanks very much, Dean. Michael Thomas is here. I think whatever debt you have to pay to Liverpool fans for that goal you scored for Arsenal, you've repaid with interest.
I hope so. I've had so much talk about it, the last goal I scored at Anfield. Hopefully I'll shut them up for a while, and hopefully shut Jimmy up for once.
He's listening.
Shut him up, you know, stop talking about bleating me, so hopefully I'll shut him up now.
Just tell us what went through your mind. Steve McManaman got the ball out on the right there and just nicked it into you. Now, I mean, it didn't look as if anything was on. What went through that brain of yours?
I just thought, like, it's a chance hit to it. It fell nice, and the ball fell nice on the ground. I thought about hitting it straight away. And I've been doing that for the last 4 years with Dave Rocastle, so it's nice.
Wonderful experience for you in the cup final, winner's medal, and here's the other man who scored the goal. Ian, 5 goals in cup finals now. You must be aware of that.
Yeah, I know the FA Cup I scored 2 in the other previous cup finals, and it's, no, I'd like to got 2 there, but at the end of the day I got 1 and we won, so that's more important.
Let's just have a word about Sunderland. They've been fighting against relegation in the 2nd division, and they did very well, certainly in the first 45 minutes.
Well, I felt the first 45 we were very lucky to go in 0-0. They had the better chances, and I felt they would be very disappointed at half-time. I think the goal so early on the second half, I think, must have killed their confidence, and from then on there's only one team in it.
Let's just talk about your goal. Dean Saunders' run at the defence really scared them, didn't it, initially, then Michael Thomas?
Yeah, I don't remember much. I remember Mickey doing it, and he missed control, I think, and just came to me, and I think I didn't go for a blast because more importantly, to get the side netting, and I managed to get on target, and that was it.
It looked like a real Rush vintage goal to me. It was stroked into the net.
Well, that's the way I like to score goals. People have been writing me off all season, which is fair enough. No, I felt I needed 6 or 7 games to get into it, and from that I felt a lot sharper than what I've been in the last 2 weeks, and I'm just sad really that the season's ended now.
Well done, Ian. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Throw out in the second half.
No. Hey, listen. Hey lads, I'm sorry, you know, I know I'm going to get really slaughtered with that one that went out on the side, but you see, I couldn't kick dead balls.
An officer of the law, congratulations.
Inspector
Leave it up.
Hey, by the way, we're leaving at 9:45 in the morning.
There was, of course, a rather different atmosphere in the Sunderland dressing room.
It's been a great cup run, you know, we beat 3 first division teams, West Ham, Chelsea and Norwich. There's been some great nights of soccer, like, you know, especially at Roker Park when we beat Chelsea, you know, that was fantastic. But, you know, when we were there, you get to Wembley and you think, everyone says, oh, well, we'll have a great day, enjoy the day out. But, I mean, after we've had a first half like we had, you know, we had a little feeling that we could actually sneak it, you know, so that's the disappointing thing.
I mean, felt as though you came close.
Well, yeah, with first half we did, but second half, to be fair, they taught us a lesson in football, to be fair, they were brilliant.
But if one of those early chances had gone in for Sunderland?
Well, that's right, who knows, you know, probably if one had gone in, they'd have probably beat us 4-1, we would have probably made them angry.
The start of what will surely be a long night of celebration was already underway when the Liverpool players and their wives and girlfriends finally got away from Wembley, having collected what they came for. Early anxieties all forgotten.
The toy wasn't too bad, was it, at the end of the day? We have a good time tonight.
Can you back off, son?
Let's go!
And en route to central London and a celebratory banquet, there were reflections of the day and what it all means to Liverpool Football Club. Even the most experienced players have been affected by the importance of winning.
I'm still reminiscing of what I was saying this morning because I was nervous. I've never been that nervous for an FA Cup final or any final in the past. I was nervous because it was a new experience for me. Liverpool, I've only played for Liverpool in the first division, and I only wanted to play for Liverpool, and we had to get into Europe for that. As I've said before, the kids that have played here and the old school that have played, they wanted Europe so badly. You know, we were let down with one tragedy in Europe. We came back strong after the 6 years and last year. And next year we're in a different competition, the Cup Winners' Cup. Yes, it's still Europe, and we're going to play against the top sides in Europe again.
The scorer of Liverpool's first goal, Michael Thomas, was hoping his performance today would help his teammates forget a day when things didn't go so well. Do they often remind you of the goal you scored for Arsenal that cost Liverpool the championship?
Only one person, that's John Barnes. So I room with him all the time, and he stopped saying, you got to repair us back, you got to repair us back. And hopefully I've done part of it. And hopefully next season we win a few more trophies.
What do you remember about the goal you scored at Wembley?
All I remember is Steve McManaman going down the wing, going past two players, and put it in between some of them, and then it felt just right for me to hit it on the volley. I just it was a nice feeling to score.
Well,
that's what it's all about. What the lads won this afternoon.
They showed great character because it was difficult in the first half.
Well, I mean, when there's no goal scored in the first half, you're always on tender hooks because if the opposition score, then it makes it harder. But these lads are brought up not to try and lose a goal. And at half-time, or before half-time, we talked about changing the formation. But we said we'll wait till half-time, we don't lose a goal, we're still in the game. And then we made the change, and it was bingo. Steve McManaman produced the goods. But again, the other 10 were there as well, and they helped us as well.
What did Greame say after the game? You must have had it.
Well, Greame all through. Greame was down at the hotel yesterday, and he was there today, and he controlled himself well on the line, and he's made up as well. He wanted to jump up and down, but he knew he couldn't, and this will do him the world of good. And he'll be back in July when we start training. He'll be back before that.
Tomorrow, the Liverpool squad return home for a tour of the city. Thousands are expected to turn out. Tonight, this year's FA Cup winners have remained in the capital to concentrate on singing, dancing and celebrating their success.
And here's the squad going into their celebrations just a short time ago.
Yeah, happy because we got a good result. We're back in Europe now. I think that's a major factor because the lads played in Europe this year, and they experienced the atmosphere and they loved it. And I think it's great to be back again.
The Premier League and Europe now beckon next season, but the presence of England squad members Rob Jones and Mark Wright here today gave an indication of what matters most. The gloom and doom of the season is now history, and for the players and their fans, the FA Cup is the perfect consolation prize.
And as expected, although the numbers were down, there were thousands of fans out on the streets to welcome them home and to celebrate what is the club's 5th FA Cup success. There was a real sensation for the club that, given only finishing 6th in the league, by Liverpool standards, that's not good enough, they say. This really was a season saver.
That's the worst shirt ever, by the way. Never been this shirt. That's got to go. Get rid of it.
I must say, you're looking so elegant today.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Just a little bit. I've got to do it for the 3rd FA Cup winners medal. I've got the children here, wife here. First time for the children up on the bus, so they'll get their turn up at the front. They'll see in the city centre in Liverpool. Everybody's going to go up there, and maybe you can get a good shot there.
There's a certain feel to your dress, and you're linked to the paper this morning with Sporting Lisbon. Should we read anything into this?
Sorry?
You're linked to the paper this morning with Sporting Lisbon. Should we read anything into your dress?
My dress is Sporting Lisbon.
Well, it looks very Andalusian.
Oh, Andalusian? No. I think there's a more cowboy, and it's called a beaver hat. You see, it comes from Canada. You see, I've come from Canada. I told you, Vancouver to here. I got a beaver hat. There you go.
As ever, the fans were thick, cheering the Liverpool team. All the players were out on the open-top bus. Liverpool manager Graeme Souness, perhaps not surprisingly after the rigours of yesterday, didn't make the trip. But England's Mark Wright and Rob Jones were there. John Barnes wasn't, having flown out with the squad to Hungary. There's the Liverpool skipper. So, is it all sunk in yet?
Just about now, yeah. It's made all playing football from a very small kid. It's made everything worthwhile.
Was that feeling of picking up the FA Cup everything you expected?
Yeah, that's a very special moment. I was lucky enough to be awarded the captaincy, and to walk at them steps first to win it was magnificent for me. Yeah, it's made everything for me very worthwhile, and all my family. I mean, my mum was crying last night, which made it very special to me.
I'm happy he's got a bottle of champagne out with him.
I don't even know her. She's just joined drinking and got a bottle of champagne. I don't know her. Who are you?
Who are you?
It's been a very proud weekend for you, I'm sure.
Well, but as I keep on saying, the main thing, we won the game. And this is the best thing that can happen to Liverpool Football Club and the fans. Everything else is a bonus.
And today it's a day for the families in many ways.
Well, the players like to bring their children along because they never know, they mightn't have to do it again. Because you get to the cup final now and again. We've been fortunate, we've had a few cup finals, but you always treat the last one, it's going to be the last one.
The Moran dynasty is well represented on the bus today.
Well, I'm lucky. I've got the sons on the bus and the 4 grandchildren and the daughter-in-law. And unluckily, the daughter and the son-in-law were left at the police station. Not in jail, by the way, but they were left there where we left to leave on this bus.
It's been a great weekend, Ronnie, hasn't it?
Oh, great. I'd say the main thing, it's great for the club and the fans. Yeah, that's another one.
Is that
the youngest?
Hello?
That's the youngest grandson.
Hello? Which one's that, Ronnie?
There's another one. I'm only one missing.
Wonderful scenes there around Merseyside.